Oh, Lily.
Why'd you just chuck me on? I had no idea. I was like, hello.
I thought I was going to have a bit of fun there. I'm going to throw you live by yourself and watch what happens.
What do I do? I just turn on the mic.
How funny. I've never seen anybody flick off that screen so quickly. That was absolutely quite hilarious. Well, we are live, Lily.
Hello.
That was honestly.
You're so mean.
That was the funniest thing I've ever done. I mean, when you drop somebody on the spot, and I was just thinking about dropping people on the spot, and I think it's actually a really good skill to be able to just go, okay.
You drop me on the spot enough, let alone on a LinkedIn Live.
But you're actually pretty good at it. You've actually got quite a good talent at being able to talk. I mean,
I just hide my nerves.
I think you come from talking stock.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, it's Tuesday, and I thought we'd just hop on and give people an update because, bloody hell, it's almost the end of the financial year.
No, it's crazy. It's gone so quickly.
I'm kind of flabbergasted in what we've done as a business because I know we've grown and we're growing and we're growing and we're growing and we're growing. But when you think about where it's come from since November, we've literally gone through November, December, January, which is traditionally Australia's slow period. Call it the lazy quarter because everyone goes skiing and go over to Europe and goes on holiday and the kids are away and whatever. So that slow period is traditionally a quiet period for business. We then had the drought to contend with, which was a massive thing. Then
the bushfires.
Then all of a sudden the bushfires kicked in.
Yeah.
And then the lockdown, and this is where these LinkedIn Live videos, and we've had so much feedback from people saying how they've actually enjoyed these little ad hoc conversations.
I know. I apologize for the sun as well. It's been gone all day, and now
you do what? You apologize for the sun?
I know. Sorry about that. That's all right.
Tell that to the people living in the dark.
Oh dear.
No, it's totally fine, but it's been. I know it's been an incredible couple of weeks with us, and you know the amount of execs coming on board. What are we sitting at now?
We're sitting at It was 247 yesterday. I think 247, which is quite incredible. I think we're soon going to be hitting 250 if we haven't already.
That is incredible.
Yep, 247.
So 247 of Australia's executives have said, "Yep," and we've literally had nothing in terms of spending money on getting out there to try and get these execs on board. We've done it all physically, picking up the phone, calling them, a bit of LinkedIn here and there. We've not spent a penny doing that, have we?
Literally. It's been quite remarkable the amount of generosity that people have given us, especially as a startup. I think everyone knows that a startup makes everything more difficult. But people have been just really generous, and I think the amazing thing is seeing when I get an exec on board, or when Colin gets an exec on board, the most heartwarming thing that anyone can ever do is say, okay, I'll pass this on to X, Y, and Z and see if they'll be on board too. And I think that's what we've seen relatively recently, and it has just been magical. People are just they're so kind. So I think, we're very lucky. I'm going to try to move my computer.
Yeah, or you can move your head. You can move your head to the left. Just sit like that.
Oh no.
Oh, it's that way. Oh, there you go. Oh,
there we are.
It looked like it was an angel, Lily, with the.
I know.
I know.
There's one on my shoulder all the time.
But it's been quite remarkable, and I know what's been the thing that works most, because I know when you first came on, you had a lot of luck with was it Suzanne Doniz, the group CIO of Qantas?
Yeah, Susan was amazing. She was so kind. She forwarded my email to like all of Qantas, which was remarkable. I got so many signups from that, and now I think Qantas is one of our biggest supporters now, which is incredible. Yeah, everyone's been lovely. I had emails from I think Jonathan Cremonini at the WorkPack group. He forwarded on a few emails. I think Brad Blythe forwarded on a few emails from Flybys. Literally, everyone is so kind when it comes to stuff like this, and I think our goal is just to go as far as and wide as possible, which I think is only so. You can only go so far when you're running it like when you're running it organically, completely organically, which is basically what we're doing. And so I think it's now kind of getting to that period of time where it's like, okay, we need people to like help us run with it. And I think the few that have helped have proven that that is definitely the best way to go. But so we're playing around with some ideas of hopefully kind of getting a bit more involvement and referrals and that kind of system. But yeah, I think people donating their time, I feel like it's spreading the word that like this is actually really an amazing initiative, and it kind of it's business as usual making a difference.
Yeah.
And that's literally what it is. I think that's the simplest terms you could ever put it. And that's what Andrew Matizak said in one of our first promo videos.
Yeah.
So I think that speaks volumes. And the way he speaks about it as well, it speaks volumes.
And he was responsible for, he would go to those conferences, the big tech conferences, and he'd stand around, he'd walk around the vendor booth where all the vendors are saying, and he would tell the vendors literally, if you want to get to me, you got to go through Meat Magic. And that was so cool. So we get all the vendors coming to us off the back of that. But I remember, to your point about there's something about a referral thing when an exec asks another exec, because they all know each other. Australia's pretty small and colloquial, and I think when the CTO community, or when somebody in the CTO community sends another email to somebody else in the CTO community, everyone tends to hear about it. So I remember Rainer Reddy. I think he was a CIO of Fairfax or one of those, and then he went to Channel 7, and I think he's now over at
Aussie.
At Aussie, yeah. I remember he did something last year. He was in between jobs. He sent 10 emails to CTOs saying, "Here's what I've been involved in. I've done a few of these meetings. They're really good. He actually said, I feel really good about taking them because I know it's going to make an impact and it's actually going to do some good. And, we don't often like meeting many vendors, but this way of meeting the vendors really makes it feel worthwhile because it's making a difference." And I think we got 9 out of those 10 sign up, which was really remarkable. So I think that there is something about that referral model that we could leverage to try and get more execs to sign up. And
I think it's just also spreading awareness of the feeling of these meetings, which I remember Anna from Westpac. She's the CIO of Westpac Consumer Division, I'm pretty sure. She said it very eloquently in a LinkedIn post and basically said, like, everyone has time to free up 45 minutes to do something that makes you feel so good, or something along those lines. But she basically like played around with the idea that she does these meetings because they genuinely make her feel good. They make you feel like, you know what, at the end of that 45 minutes, just looking at my computer, I've helped 18 seriously ill children, which feels pretty darn good. And I can tell you from working, and I'm sure you know better than anyone, Carl, but from working for a company that does good, doing good feels good. So I just can't explain that. Like, I can't exclaim how good it feels.
Yeah.
So I think everyone can free up a little time in their diary to do some good, and then it just makes you feel good.
It makes me think really hard about how we can actually help them with their why as well, because I know this is our why of, we want to create all this great good thing in the world, and often it's about how does it help me when an exec comes on board, how does it help me? And And I just know that all the scientific reports about the endorphins and the giver's glow and the rush that they get from the brain makes them better leaders, makes them more productive. So there's all that good stuff that comes out of these meetings as well. Not just about the fact that they're helping sick kids. Let me share my screen and I'll see if I can show you. See if I can do it without cocking it up this time, because I'm pretty good at cocking things up. Tell me if you can see the results dashboard, Lily. Is it there? Is it come up full screen?
Not yet.
Oh, is it sharing?
Not yet.
Oh, not showing. I told you I'd be good at cocking things up. How come it doesn't come up? Anyway, I thought it.
What are the results, Carl? What are the numbers telling us?
I thought I'd. Oh, I've not clicked share screen. That's why.
Oh dear.
Such a donkey. Okay, here we go.
Fabulous.
So, remember Bruce Forsyth? Bruce Forsyth was what's the scores on the door, Miss Ford? Remember that? So here's the scores on the door, Miss Ford. It's not, and we're a little bit behind because this was the 25th of May. So since the 25th of May, we had 232 execs that were registered, and you're saying we're now at 247. Well, yes. Hooly dooly, that's quite a bit of growth. Do you remember when we were only getting like 10 execs in a week? And it's almost like
no, there's a period where we were getting less than that. There was a period where like we were getting like 3 or 2 or 4, yeah. And it was like,
just incredible. But have a look at this. So we've got 247 execs that have pledged. So that those number of meetings will be more than 800. We've done more than 153 meetings. We've got over $500,000 in pledged fundraising so once those meetings are taking place, Starlight's going to get that much money. We've currently raised over $150,000, and you mentioned those kids. There's almost 4,000 of them that have been impacted by this campaign so far. Now, when you think about that, that's 4,000 children that are suffering from isolation, fear, doubt, all that. That they're seriously ill, they're in hospital, they don't know what the future holds for them, and all of a sudden you've given them access to a bit of sunlight and a bit of brightness in their life. That for me is purpose. It's getting up in the morning and feeling good about what you do, and that's what you're feeling. You feel really good about that.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, by doing the good, and you mentioned that before, doing good is actually doing good. Have a look at this quote that Tony said: "The most effective marketing campaign in all our careers." Now, this is a big top right-hand quadrant Gartner cybersecurity cloud company, and that is a pretty big statement to say. And then when you look at the figures on the right, because we send out a little survey every time a meeting takes place, we ask for the experience of that meeting. And when you look at out of 5, with 5 being the best, we're currently sitting about 4.7 on each of those meetings. So when we asked the questions, was it informal? Was it insightful and informative? Was there opportunity for future collaboration? 83% of the execs are saying that because of these meetings are so well curated, there is an 83% chance that they'll do business together. That's a really powerful number. You would never. I don't care what marketing company you work for. I don't care. I'm going to throw this out there. I'll defy anybody to get better results from any lead generation campaign than 83%. That's a really powerful number. But the fact that these execs keep coming back and wanting to do more is really powerful. The vendors, on the other hand, well, they're giving us quotes like this, and the best marketing campaigns they've ever done. So we must be doing something right.
Yeah, I think the way I like to explain it to vendors is what makes our meetings stand apart from any other meeting you do in your day-to-day is that you can't go into a meeting or a cold meeting, essentially, because you've never met these people before. You can't go into a meeting with your foot further in the door. We, as a result of, basically what happens is that when a an executive donates their time to us, and Maddie eloquently does the curation of the meetings, and lines everything up, aligns diaries and schedules it all. She does that initial warm intro for you, and she tells the executive who you are, what you're about, and what you want to get out of that meeting. And by putting, and what I think is so perfect about that is that by putting the ball in the executive's court and giving them the option, basically, like, is this worth your time? This is why X vendor thinks it's worth your time. Can you help them out? You've already got that warm introduction. Your foot's already in the door. And then if the vendor's saying, if the executive's saying yes, then like, Bob's your uncle. Done. Like, all you have to go is tell them about your product and connect with them. Don't sell. No one likes to listen to you just selling. But you just go into that. You go into that meeting. You have a warm introduction. You've got a warm connection, and you can talk about how you're about to help 18 seriously ill children just by sitting on the computer for 45 minutes, and then you can slowly go into how you can each help each other. And I think that's what definitely sets our meetings apart.
Yeah.
And I think
there's something powerful coming out of it. We saw an ANZ bank managing director sign up this morning, and I'm like, holy dooly. This is like, where did that come from? I was like, the biggest banks in the country giving us their directors to a little bit of time. They obviously see that there's some value in that, and that's really powerful. You know?
Most definitely.
So we just had confirmation from Olivia Morgan that we're sitting on 247 execs, which is a great number. That, you know, we'd love to get that to 1,000, and I think getting the message out there has single-handedly been our challenge. It's been, and I know right now, I mean, this morning I've had 3 phone calls from very large vendors, all wanting to get involved. You've seen we've passed these vendors on to you. One of them is Workday, a huge company. And I'm thinking to myself, we've got this product to market fit starting to happen now. That means people are talking about it. But not only are they talking about it, they're talking about it in such a way that it's actually really positive because they've got something positive out of it.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that for us is the product to market fit. When that starts to happen, you've now got to go from that to product to market fit to scale. And that scaling is the big part here. Do you have the systems, processes, and structure in place to be able to do that? But I think what Maddie and you and Olivia has created, I think we do have those systems ready to go. And I think we could quite easily now take on 1,000 execs and be able to support setting those meetings up with the vendors. And that for me is an exciting part, because it means you're ready for scale.
Yeah.
And the biggest challenge, I think, to most businesses in scaling is obscurity. Nobody knows who the hell you are. And we've done everything on LinkedIn. That's it. These little lives that we've been doing, the little posts that we put out there, and you know, the Vince Sorrenti LinkedIn lives that we do, and it's really, I've had some really positive feedback on these lives, that it's actually kept people, you know, in touch with the market and what's been going on, and they've really enjoyed them. So I think it's been good to get that message out. But I honestly, I just don't know how else you're meant, aside from spending $1 million on marketing, on Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads and whatever else. I literally don't know how you're meant to get the word out there. And
well, we're gonna find a way.
Yeah, I mean, the ice bucket challenge springs to mind, right? We get an exec bucket challenge. I don't know, something where the execs get to nominate other execs and get something out of it at the same time, make it a bit of fun, because it really is. I think this is meant to be fun. It's meant to be. It's not. It's serious because it's business, but there's a whole lot of value that comes out of this for the execs.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think if anyone's watching, I mean, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But refer your friends. If you have any colleagues, peers, bosses that you know of that are a decision maker at a large scale company, refer them. Send them my way. Send them to www.meetingforgood.org.au. Just spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
Spread the gospel. And when you are a little startup, Lily, and this is the thing that really stands out for me. Every single one of the execs in Australia can get value for their job and for their career from the clients that we're dealing with. Because we're not talking about Mum and Joe's butcher shop down the road that wants to come and meet with you. We're talking about the Googles, the Dells, the Netscopes, the CrowdStrikes, the biggest tech companies on the planet right now that have the most value to listen to, from whether it's cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, cloud security, or whatever it is. There's no exec anywhere that won't gain something from these meetings. Yeah. That in itself, from a professional point of view, is a reason to meet, because you can always learn something, and that's growth.
Most definitely.
And on top of that, they're getting to feel good about the fact that it's making a difference. And we, for any exec that's watching or is going to watch or play the replay, we coach the salespeople not to walk into your meeting and pitch product, because we know there is nothing worse than invoking the fight or flight mechanism in your brain than going, "Here's my widget." So we tell people to talk about the Starlight campaign, talk about Meeting for Good, talk about how you got involved first. This is the way to build a human-to-human connection, as opposed to, "Hey, do you want to buy some of my widgets?"
Yeah,
it's just not the right thing to do. And I think most of our sales people that are taking the meetings, they get that and understand that, and that is the number one reason why a human-to-human connection is now. And I think people are craving that. I think people just don't want to be sold to anymore.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. That was a bit of a random update. We've got lots of, and by the way, I'm going to do one more screen share. Do you mind?
No, go ahead.
I know you don't mind. So this for me is really cool. So if you've not had a look yet, get onto the meetmagic.org website. That's that one there. That one. And go and have a look at some of these testimonials. Removing the smoke around getting into the right room. Brilliant way from Ryan. Nathan Brooker. Meet Magic has helped us secure a number of meetings with executives we've been trying to get in front of for years. We've been able to showcase our technology in many ways, in many instances, kick off large projects. It's the easiest, most rewarding, and best business development initiative I've seen in my career.
How kind.
I mean,
he sent that to me and was like, "Here, this is for you," and I was like, "Oh, Nathan."
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, and when you look at these, look at Neil gave me goose pimples when Neil Templeman, who works at Bidem Solutions, when he told me that Meet Magic is the most relevant and compelling platform for any vendor in the ICT industry who is wanting to engage with C-level. That for me was because Neil's been around Australia and the tech world for quite a while, but that's from the salespeople. But just have a look at from the execs. I mean, the execs are even more powerful. Andrew Matizak, Meet Magic takes the clutter out of your mailbox and creates meaningful discussions with vendors whilst helping people by doing what we already do. So, I mean, don't just take our word for it. This is not a fly-by-night thing. Lucy Liu is the co-founder of a $1 billion tech startup. She's a billionaire on paper, and she has taken 3 of these meetings and enjoyed the conversations with all of them, and is potentially collaborating with them in the future. These are connections and relationships that are being formed in such a good feeling, and that for me was what the whole point of Meet Magic was. And there's your quote from Anastasia, the CIO of Westpac. So, if you're in marketing in a vendor, and it's now, June the 2nd, you've got 20 business days left to spend your marketing budget. Well, can you think of any better way to spend it than to make a difference? And here's the proof that it actually works.
And get some pipeline.
Yeah,
It's insane.
yeah,
It's a double whammy.
it is. So I got really proud when I see those quotes coming in, and I know we've got more coming, which we're going to be adding to that, and that's just brilliant. That's been, the fact that we've done all this, Lily, with you and Maddie and Livia, and we've done all this through the drought, through the bushfires, through COVID. It tells us that we're going to come out of this like incredibly strong. We're going to, these meetings that are now virtual can easily be flipped into being face-to-face meetings. We're now doing projects to bring 5 and 10 execs together for roundtables. How good is that?
Very cool.
So there's, I think, imagine when we all get back to normal properly, and it's slowly getting there. And these lives will probably go once a week by then. We'll be too busy.
I hope so.
And
I hope we're so busy.
And hopefully, when I drop you on without me being there, you just go, "Oh, hello, I'm live."
Hello. Switch off the camera.
It's so good. That's caught on film, by the way. It's going to be, and I'm going to leave it on. I'm not going to trim it. Really good to see you. Have a cracking day.
You too, Carl. Talk to you later, I'm sure.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.